What is up, you guys? This is the Fallout What If here, and today I'm going to do What If Naruto Was a Hollow, Part 1. Now, hopefully, you guys had a good Christmas and a good New Year's. Sorry that I haven't done anything. Work has been kicking my ass, and I'm a construction worker, so it's not easy, but I'm trying to get the hang of it so I can make money to do things in my own personal life. So hopefully you guys understand that, and hopefully you guys had a good holiday and stuff. Oh, not only that, I'm more better than I was last time that I talked to you guys, but I inhaled insulation, so I still have sinuses and I'm still feeling kind of crappy. But I'm getting better during over the days, so hopefully you guys understand that. And now I'm just gonna begin the video. Hopefully you guys like it. Now, where we first where we leave where we're gonna start is during the fight between Kakashi and Zabuza. Naruto has a hole in his chest, or he has a hole. Well, he has a hole in his chest. There's no denying that. From his stomach all the way down to his guts, he has a big stab wound right there. And Naruto is laying there, standing there lifelessly, holding onto the blade. And all you see is Hinata right there, looking at what had happened on the ground, seeing that Naruto there is standing there lifelessly. Sasuke is on the ground looking. Sakura, Kiba, Shino are all staring in awe. Kakashi is devastated. Zabuza is thrilled. Haku is standing there with not saying a word. Tazuno is kind of scared for his own life, but sad for the other boy. Now, you guys may be wondering, why am I starting off like this? And not only that, why am I starting off on this scene? Well, to tell you, we would have to go to the point where a few points in time kind of changed, such as Team Kurenai joining in the C rank mission after they found out it was going to be an S rank. And not only that, Zab, well, pretty much they join and they show up because Kurenai decided to take that mission, but she would say that she would take her Genin with them, and not Zabuza, Hiruzen, even though he should say no, decides to get all the help to take the help he can get because other Jonin and Anbu are taking different missions that are important, or at least just as important. So they arrive after Kakashi is weakened, and they're going to learn tree walking. And Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura are learning how to tree walk over time. This is when Team Kurenai decides to join. This is when Team Kurenai joins in, and Kiba, Shino, and Hinata are there. Hinata sees Naruto and she blushes, but she sees the others and gives bows towards them. he was saying that we haven't learned this. We haven't learned tree walking yet, and this is when Kakashi would teach him. But because he's weak right now, he's not going to expend all of his chakra. So Naruto decides to, well, how do I say it? He goes around and shows them a bit, helping out Sasuke as well because since Kakashi can't do it and he wants to get a one up on them, saying that I taught you how to use this. Hold on here. Sorry about that. Kakashi is right there, finding out that Naruto wants to teach him, so he decides to do it, and he helps out Team Kurenai, and not only that, expends his own chakra and keeps on doing this for quite a while. Now, things go as in canon, except for the fight. Naruto, uh, Naruto and Kakashi, Sakura and Sasuke, they're fighting against Zabuza and Haku. Not Zabuza and Haku. They're fighting against. Team Kurenai is fighting against the gangsters, I think. Yeah, the gangsters and all the criminals, because they decide to show up, which is another point. Which is another change in time. Because Gato decided to finish them off and make it quick. That's when he said, "You know what? I need all of you guys to kill them because we have two strong ninja and we have Zabuza with us. So if you can kill all of them, you guys can keep their share. But if you guys die, it's no skin off my nose." It's no skin off my nose. I forgot. I don't know if it's the right word to say. But Gato decides to, tell them to fight, which leads Kurenai to defend or fend off, and Shino and Kiba to fight. What's her face? It leaves team. What's the word? It leaves Team Kurenai to fight. I don't know if I think I'm getting it wrong because I keep messing up the pronunciation of what I'm trying to say. Team Kurenai fights against the thugs, and Hinata is fighting with Sasuke versus Haku instead of Naruto. And he's with Naruto, Sasuke, and Hinata. She's with Naruto and Sasuke. Sakura is still with Tazuna. Zabuza is fighting Kakashi, and things are kind of going as in canon, except for with Hinata, she's helping out in every way she can, but she gets stabbed too with some Senbon. So, during that time, Naruto and Sasuke are pretty much doing the hard work while Hinata's just going and, telling them where the next attack is going to be. And this is when Naruto sees with a look of fear, Kakashi about to get is on the defensive. This is when Naruto manages to get out of there, get out of the little glass uh prison, I guess, the ice prison jutsu or the glass mirror kind of structure. I'm now kind of forgetting. I'm sorry, you guys. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Look, he's fighting against Haku. Haku notices that he leaves, tries to attack him, but Sasuke and Hinata are there to defend. And this is when Naruto manages to get out. So he's running, and he sees Kakashi is on his last legs, and this is when Hinata is running too, manages to escape. Sasuke gets hit a couple of times by the Senbon, and she says that you're not leaving as easily as your blonde friend over there. She gets stabbed a couple of times in the back and in the legs, causing her to fall, and yelling out to Naruto, saying that you're gonna get hurt. And Naruto just runs there and pushes off Kakashi, or pushes Kakashi off, or out of the way. Sorry, I'm so sorry, you guys. Out of the way, which leads him to get stabbed in the stomach or in the chest. Because the executioner's blade, there's a wide blade, so he gets stabbed. He gets basically stabbed in both areas. Now, Naruto, uh, Naruto is right there, and he's shocked, saying, "How did I get stabbed? Am I gonna die?" And he says, "Oh no, I'm gonna die." And this is when he realizes that he can't do anything. His arms are on the. His arms are laying, or one of his arms is laying on its side, and the other one is gripping as tight as it could on the blade. Naruto is starting to close his eyes, saying, or no, his eyes are staying open, and saying, why can I not see as much as I could beforehand? What's going on?" And with this, Naruto is losing his life. Hinata just witnessed the person she loved just get stabbed and got stabbed through, and pretty much is standing there lifeless. This is when Kakashi just sees a small version of him killing off Ren or Rin. This is when Sasuke is on the ground, and he's looking at Naruto right there with a blade just attached to him. And Sasuke passes out, and Naruto says that he wants to live, and he really wants to live. He doesn't want to die. And this is when Zabuza says, "Sorry, kid, but you should have just let your teacher die. You could have lived that way." And this is when Naruto just coughs up the blood that was stuck in his throat, and he's just on the ground, not saying anything. This is when Kurenai steps in and sees that Naruto was stabbed, and she's trying to help out, but Haku is in the way after getting out of her stupor. I don't know if you. It doesn't matter whether it's a chick or not a chick, because uh, she's not gonna be in the video, or she's not gonna be mentioned so many times like Naruto. Mm. So anyway, Naruto is there on a cold piece of, well, concrete, and it's watering. And Naruto gets up, and this is when he sees himself saying, "What's happened? Where am I at? Where's Kakashi? Where's Hinata? Where's everyone?" And this is when he starts to concentrate, saying, "Where are they at?" And this is when, instead of seeing a wet floor, he notices that the floor is actually blood, or the water is actually blood. And he sees himself on the ground, lifeless, saying, "What's happening? Am I dead? I don't know if I'm dead. Is this a shadow clone? Did I make anything earlier?" This is when Zabuza just cleans off his blade and just retreats or just leaves. And this is when Naruto says, "What happened? Why are they leaving? Why is what's happening here? I'm so freaking confused right now. Kakashi, why are you just looking at him? It's a shadow clone. I'm still alive, aren't I?" And he's like, what's the word? He's he's scared. That's the word. He's scared. He's confused. He's like shocked. Among everything else, he's just shocked, saying, "What am I doing right there? Why am I? Why am I? You know, why can't he hear me? Why can't I hear me? I know what I'm saying, but it doesn't feel like I'm talking." And he stands there for another hour or so. But this is when a couple of Anbu are rescuing, or not rescuing. They're picking Naruto up, and they're taking him. And Kakashi and Kurenai are talking. Kurenai feels sad and tells Kakashi that everything will be all right. This is when Kakashi looks down and he says, "Rin, I failed. I failed yet another one of my comrades, Sensei. I failed as a teacher." And he says, "Obito, I failed as a friend." And Sasuke is saying, "We shouldn't." Sasuke is looking at him, saying, "We shouldn't feel this way for now. We should just keep going. Naruto would have wanted us to do something." And this is when Hinata slaps Sasuke in the face, saying, if you just stayed there, if you just if you didn't try to help out Kakashi, if you didn't just do anything like that, he would have still been alive. He ran as fast as he could to protect Zabuza, or not Zabuza. He went to protect Kakashi, and this is when Sakura says he's he didn't want he did it on his own, and Hinata just is like just stricken with so much, what is the word, guilt. She could have helped her. She could have helped Naruto, but she fell on the ground too, and she said that she failed him. And she's just saying that he's alive. He's still alive. And she's talking about his dream. He's going to be Hokage, right? This is when she says this has to be a dream. And she says, Sakura, you done good jutsu before. Kurenai, you could take this off, right? You can remove it. And this is when tears are just forming, but to the point to where they're about to break and release. This is when Kurenai says, "I'm sorry, but this is not a genjutsu." And she is saying, "These are lies. These are all lies. Naruto's alive. It's gonna take a while, but he's gonna walk up and with a grin on his face, saying everything's gonna be all right. He's gonna say, believe it." And this is when she starts crying and said that she wanted to tell Naruto how she really felt. This is when Naruto just sees all of this, and Kurenai's holding her, and this is when she starts to Well, Hinata starts to just explode in chakra. Like her her aura is giving uh it's giving off a weird purple vibe right there. It's giving off like so much hatred, and this is when she says, "I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill him." And this is when her mind snaps. She falls down. Kurenai places her under a genjutsu, saying with this, she Naruto would never will never be a part of this mission. He died for different reasons, and everybody just agrees. Even Sasuke's like, yeah, we really don't need to burden her with this. And Naruto is just he's starting to feel sadness, and this is when a chain is around him, and he notices that this chain is doing something. It's starting to move. It's starting to feed. It's starting to eat itself. And he's thinking to himself, eat itself. And he's grabbing this thing and pulling it. And this is when he feels a shock of like pain coursing through his like system. And he keeps pulling and pulling and pulling, which starts to make things worse. And to the point where Naruto stops doing it because it's around its last link. This is when it stops and he says, "Oh, sorry about that." He says, oh man, thank Kami. All right, so I can probably just head over there or head to Konoha. They're probably trying to revive me. I could be dead, but it could be possible. This is when Naruto looks and he sees a couple of people sad. He visits the ramen shop, and this is when the man has tears in his eyes, and he looks up in the sky and says, "Daughter of mine, why does it have to rain so sadly?" And this is when the daughter, I forgot what her name was. Uh, I remember, but I don't know if it's the right one. So I'm going to just keep saying the daughter says it's not raining, and this is when she sees him starting to tear up and crying, and he's holding his face, saying it is. It's crying so much I can't see a thing. This is when the daughter says, if it's crying so much, why don't we stay inside and keep you dry? Besides, you have a ramen shop to make, or you have a ramen shop to keep uh, keep in business. And this is when he says, "Tonight, we're not making any ramen. We're not going to make anything. We're shutting down for a day, for today at least." And she says, "Why?" And this is what he says, "Because my number one customer is no longer going to eat." And this is when he just pours a ramen bowl right on one of the seats that Naruto usually eats at. And this is when freaking Naruto sees how much this guy actually cared about him. And this is when he goes around and he sees Iruka. Iruka is right there just looking and saying, "You
you just turned into a ninja not too long ago, and they just had to take you away so soon. And this is when he just closes the door, goes into his house and closes the door. Naruto is wondering. He never knew Iruka truly cared about him to this point. I mean, he thinks to himself, he knows that Iruka cared about him, but he never knew to this point to where he would actually see him in such a sad state. And a couple of other people that knew him, such as Shikamaru, Joji, they were like, "Wow, this was so sad." Choji didn't even want to eat, and Shikamaru just said nothing. He was just on looking down, just saying this is not right. They're going to miss him. Just looking down and looking at the ground and stuff. And Naruto's like, he feels kind of guilty that he died. People cared about him, and he can't do a thing about it. He can't even apologize to them to where they can hear him. Even even freaking Hiruzen is just right there, staring and actually being told of what happened. Because Kakashi set out Paku, or at least a dog that could actually go as fast as normal, and at least faster than any dog that he knew. And well, a couple of other people felt a little sad, but when he went to the Hyuga compound, he saw Hinata right there. And Restraint's just saying she needs to go find him. It's like she has so much to tell him. She has regrets. She actually has regrets of not telling him how she felt. And this is when she yells out that she loves Naruto. She loves Naruto so much, and for him to die, it felt so unfair. The man she loved, the man she was holding her heart out for, died. She could have said anything at that moment in time, but she felt so much regret. Or like she could have told him any time when they were in school, any time while they actually talked to each other, and now all of a sudden he's no longer there. This puts like so much strain in her heart that she's pretty much tied up right now because she just wants to she really just wants to hurt something. She's hurting inside, and she's just like trying to break the doors, but she's restrained by a couple of chakra seals and a couple of she has like weighted seals on herself to where she can't move as easily as as she thinks. And for the next couple of years, things go down worse in Konoha. Tsunade is still somewhere. Jiraiya and freaking Hiruzen had to fight off Orochimaru, leaving Orochimaru to basically be more hurt, but leading Hiruzen to where he's sick. Not dead, but sick. Leading Sasuke to actually leave the village. And what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Danzo was about to try to become Hokage, but Jiraiya stopped all that. And what was even worse is that they don't have a memorial for Naruto. Naruto is somewhere, but he's not there. And this is when he says that he caused this much pain in so little time. And he says to himself he feels like he shouldn't even live. And that's when that's when the chain just breaks. And he says, I'm sorry for everyone for causing so much pain. He could have done something, but no, in the end, he died having a dream that he says probably is no longer. He takes away probably. He fixes it saying, I'm never going to be Okage, even though that was the one dream I really wanted. I wanted to have a family. I wanted to have something important in my life, but I can no longer have it. And this is when he falls into despair. And this is when he turns into this creature. This is when this is when his body is covered in white stuff. No homo. And this is when he looks small. He looks human, but he has a mask on. He has horns. He has a sword, and Naruto is looking at it, saying, "A sword? What the hell? Why do I have a sword?" And this is when he just starts to look and swing the thing. And I'm going to give him some of Ichigo's kind of weapon preferences because uh, let's not lie. Ichigo does have some pretty cool weapons such as the first blade he had, like the very first one, and then the second one where he didn't have a hilt. Like those were pretty cool. Those cannot be outmatched in my opinion. Besides Kenpachi's freaking weapon and his Bonkai, that could be on par in what I think is pretty cool. But this is when he looks around and he sees the same place, but this time it looks weirder. He walks around and it's watery on the floor, and he looks and it's concrete as he saw a while back, and he looks to see a gate, and this gate is holding something behind it. This is when Naruto, or whatever Naruto was, he's trying to open this thing.
Give me a second here, people. All right, sorry about that. Now, where was I? If I remember correctly, he was trying to open the gate, but before that, a couple of people actually actually stop him, and it was Kushina, Minato, and a third person. This is when this hollow Ichigo, no, Ichigo, this hollow Naruto looks at him, and this is when Minato says, "Hello, son. I'm sorry that I kept you waiting for so long, but now I'm going to try to free you from this weird transformation you have." And this is when Minato has his hand grabbed, and he just throws freaking Minato onto the on top of the air. And this is when Naruto
with a weird clothing just says, "Well, that's not nice." And this hollow Naruto looks at this white Naruto, Naruto White, or like the Ichigo, like hollow. Is it? I think his name was White. Sheesh. I actually forgot. I do remember, but I kind of forgot. So if I could say it in a way, there's Ichigo White and Ichigo. There's a Naruto who's a hollow right now, and there's an Naruto White. And this is when he says, "Hey partner, there's no way I can just let you hurt your own father and let your mother see this monstrosity that you've become." And he grabs Naruto and just picks him, puts his hand over his face, and this is when a small blast just forms out, and it hits he hits the ground. Naruto, Hollow Naruto, gets back up and just screeches at him. This is when the white Naruto just says, "Oh, you have the same sword as I do. Well, this will be interesting. Who would win? A trained version of you when it comes to this sword style, or with the sword attacks that I have, or you, the monster that actually can't move around and such?" And this is when Kushina says, "Hey, Naruto, be nice to him. He's a part of you." And this is when he says, "Oh, all right, mom. He's not the same Naruto. I'm Naruto White. He's Naruto." And she says, "That's no different. You both are my kids." And this is when he says, "What, are you gonna take us? Are you gonna take us out the way we came in?" And this is when Kushino says, "Hey, just because we're dead doesn't mean I can give you I'm not gonna give you a pounding." And this is when Naruto White just says, "Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Out of all the times you shot me in pain." Oh, sorry. This is when he says, out of all the times you start being a pain, it's when I'm fighting my partner, my friend. This is when she says, "Yes, but we have no time for this. We have to take care of him." And this is when Hollow Naruto just starts charging and just picks up his blade and just slams it as hard as he could. This is when Naruto White just slashes at freaking Hollow Naruto, slashing at one of his arms. Naruto Hollow decided to, heal himself, but he can't. It's trying to learn, but it's not learning fast enough. In any other situation, if there was no if there was no Naruto White, he could have taken control. But instead, he stabs him straight onto his mask, causing it to actually become weird. And at this point, the white substance that Naruto had just starts turning into a weird egg-like. It starts to turn to the shape of a freaking egg. If anything, this is when Kushina says, "What's happening?" Naruto White says, "I don't know." But this is when Minato just charges in and just throws in a couple of seals. And he says, "There, that should do it for now." And this is when Ichigo says, "Whoa, what happened?" This is when Minato says, "Yeah, I'm sorry about that, but when he threw me, I thought he would throw me a couple of feet. He threw me to the point where it was almost a mile. So I was in the air the whole time trying to find a way how to get down until I realized that all I just needed was a freaking one of my kunai, and that was it. Now, Naruto becomes Naruto White says, so how long is he gonna stay in there? And this is when Kushina says, I'm going to stay with him for a very long time. And this is when she hugs the egg. And this is when Minato says, I will do the same thing. And this is when Naruto says, or Naruto White says, I'm getting bored. I might as well do the same thing. And he says, why are we doing this again? She says, or Kushina says, I don't know, but it's it feels like it's the right thing to do. Now, during Konoha, everybody is getting stronger on their own ways. But without Naruto there, or because of his death, Neji doesn't actually understand about fate, and he could have actually hurt. He could have actually hurt Hinata if she had gone, because now she kind of broke. She's Naruto is all on his mind, all on her. Her mind is just consisted of Naruto. Like it kind of broke her a lot. Even so, other people are affected, such as well, Gara. Gara was there, and he's still the same person until Naruto comes back, at least, or sees if he can come back. And in other words, the egg is still the same way for at least the next 3 years. Now, during those 3 years, the egg has not hatched at all. This is when Naruto, White, Kushina, and Minato are there staring up at the egg, saying it's gotten bigger, but it hasn't changed at all. This is when Kurama, because he's still in there, he starts to laugh a bit, saying that you guys do not understand how this possibly would work. You're giving them only positive aspects, not giving them any time for negativity. And this is when they're like, tell me, when a chicken egg is born, is it just warmth and love that's being given? What about when you take a step away from the egg? Doesn't it give it the fighting instincts to try to warm itself up? Doesn't it have the ability to break out of that shell? This is when they're like, what are you talking about? And Kurama just places one of his fingers down and just shoots out a bunch of freaking killer intent. A bunch of orange chakra, wrapping it around the egg. And this is when he says, there, you see, you guys are thinking too small. You have to think bigger. You gave it so much love, it wasn't enough to mature until I gave away my orange chakra. Now, let's see how long it would take. And not even a minute has passed until they heard cracking. And they keep hearing noises, such as the noise of metal on metal. And each Naruto White just grabs Minato, says ducks, and pretty much Orange Naruto, or not Orange Naruto, Naruto pops out of there, and this is when it looks almost the same, and it was about it has its sword, and the sword looks just like Naruto White's, because Naruto White has a different sword from regular Naruto, but it needed time. Not only that, because of its holification, it's changed, especially with the orange chakra. But I'm going to leave off this little cliffhanger right here. If you guys had liked it, tell me, and if you guys can get it to 50 likes, then I will do it. I will do more of it. If not, then I tried, but I feel like this has potential. So anyway, like, comment, do subscribe to the channel here, people. This has been the Fallout with here. Bye.